Gary, the Detroit newspapers this week, for the first time, began charging their readers for some online content. What does that change mean for readers of the Detroit News?
Well, I think for the most part, it means we'll be setting aside some of our specialized content, some of our most in-depth, some of our most unique stories, just for people digitally who are paying. If people are already a subscriber in print or the e-edition, essentially it's unchanged. They continue to have free access to all of our content. But for those people who have been reading online and not contributing to the cost of news gathering, we're asking them to pay a small amount every month to continue to get the full access to the Detroit News.
We've heard over the years a lot about declining circulation, declining revenue in the newspaper industry. What we don't talk a whole lot about is the demand for news. And during this COVID crisis, during this time of turmoil in our nation, the demand for news has really spiked.
It has, and even then, we were humming along at 3 to 4 million unique visitors to our website every month, even before COVID. But now that's taken it up to 6 and 7 million unique visitors. So I think in many ways it has reinforced the need for people to look for reliable, trustworthy information and to go to the sources they trust the most during this crisis. And of course, that's not the only thing that's been going on in this time period. Besides COVID, we've had the Black Lives Matter protests and other significant news. We had the flooding in Midland County, which is where I grew up, from the dams in the Tittabawassee River. So we've had some other significant news events in Michigan that definitely have played a role in the increased usage of DetroitNews.com. I should say that much of our COVID crisis coverage will continue to be free to people.
In other markets that made this change long ago and put their whole sites behind a paywall, what's been the experience? Do they hang on to their readers?
They really are. Our company, Media News Group, has consistently suggested that they have been surprised by the outcome. They've been surprised by the support of readers when they've had to make choices and try and determine whether limiting some content and therefore limiting some advertising availability would actually increase revenue through reader subscriptions. They have found that readers have continued to say, we want to support this news outlet in the major markets where they are.
Whenever I speak to a group, one of the first questions I get from the people in the audience is, will there be a newspaper in 10 years? What's your answer to that question?
Well, I think this is a big challenge both for us and to readership, and that now is the time to support the news organizations that you trust. We have a very loyal readership at the Detroit News. In other words, we examine our statistics many times digitally based on not just how many people come to the site, but how long they stay on the site. And we see that we have a very loyal and interested readership that stays a lot of time on our site when they come, so they're not just reading one thing that they saw on Facebook and bouncing out. We've had a lot of success, and I think those are all good indicators that when people want news, they go to trusted sources. Certainly, there are outstanding bloggers. There's a lot more different journalism in the space right now that people can access, and as far as I'm concerned, the more journalism, the better. At the same time, there aren't many places that cover the Metro Detroit and Michigan region comprehensively like we do, and we try to do. And so I think that the future for journalism is strong, and the step like this, asking our readers to contribute to our digital readers to help contribute to the cost of producing news, will really be a big indicator about how long newspapers do survive, because this is the big transition to digital.